So the ergonomic checks are for that. All of that is preventative. None of that is necessarily rehabilitative. From a rehabilitative perspective, braces are amazing. Now, it depends, like one of the things I think that was exacerbating it for me was I used to sleep like this. Okay? This couldn't be more worse. Like everything about that is just you're stressing a whole bunch of things. So what I started doing was I got a brace that had a piece of metal here to hold the wrist there. If you're experiencing more elbow than wrist, I think compression, elbow compression, you can get like biking sleeves that are UV protection, but they also have compression. But they do make sports versions of them that have extra additional support here to put tension on these parts of the muscles, which helps open it up. Um, that helps with rehabilitation. Kinesiotaping should do the same thing. So kinesiotape is a process where you put the tape on one part of the ligament, tendon, muscle, whatever, and then you put it on another part to spread out the part that is most uh, in contraction to reduce the contractions. Because a lot of the time, what's actually happening is you're having a ton of microspasms, one after the other, after the other. And the kinesiotape should help in the same way that the compression does, in theory. Uh, these are compression gloves, which tend to help me with my circulation in my hands. So I have less neuropathy in my fingertips with the compression gloves. And the sleeves help with the arm. That I find that to be helpful and supportive of the process in terms of compression. When you're icing, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off over like a 2-hour period. So that's 3 times off, 3 times on. And then you might want to do that. If you are working from home and you can do it, 3 times a day in the beginning when you start to see the flare up can be really useful. If you're going to do a medication course where you're doing an anti-inflammatory, you might want to explore which anti-inflammatories work best for your body because some of them can give you gut reactions and upset stomach. What you have to know about that though is it takes something like 3 or 4 days, so like 96 hours, for the cumulative effect of the anti-inflammation substance in your body to actually take hold. So I was very resistant to taking anti-inflammatories and painkillers because I was afraid I was going to get addicted to like painkillers, and I wanted to learn how to be with the pain. The other thing is, what I've noticed is sometimes when I take a painkiller, I end up not, I'm like, oh, I feel great, and then I overexert myself. So there's a slight danger if you're using painkillers slash anti-inflammatories in that way. And you can also take natural anti-inflammatory foods. Turmeric is said to be one of the big ones. Um, Also, arnica internally is supposed to do that. Arnica is also, you can use that as a topical, which is helpful. The most helpful thing for me, aside from rest for ridiculous amounts of time that in the real world nobody has time for if you have to work, is massage, hands down. Now, the problem with massage is if this part of you is in pain already and you have to use it to work this part of you, you can exacerbate this trying to work that. So if you can get one of those, they sell them pretty cheap these days. They were not so cheap 20 years ago. They have these percussive, high-end, super intense. They're like 120 bucks US. I don't know what they would be in euros. They're massage guns basically, and they do really intense, like a the drill thing for the street on the muscle, and it helps break it up. What's going on though is you have the fibers are getting really tight, so there's a lactic acid buildup, and then what you can do to help with the lactic acid buildup is take like calcium magnesium, which will help with the transmission of the diffusion of the lactic acid out of the muscle fibers. So these are the particular ones I would explore. This is my elbow. Just below my elbow, right here, there's an attachment point coming up here. So working through that, I tend to work with my thumb and feeling where the most tension is. And then when you find a point that's really tight, pressing, holding, so maintaining the tension and then rotating in circles and moving micromillimeters from that point around it can really help open it up. And then what you want to do is you want to explore that around the whole elbow joint if you're feeling it. So also, so this is on the this side of it. So now I'm on the outside, the elbows this way. So I'm on the upper part toward the bicep, on the top part up here. So even if you're not getting pain there, the thing is, here's one of the reasons that you have pain is because one of the muscles or tendons or ligaments is too tight, and the other ones start compensating. So you may get pain here, but it's actually referred from the injury here. This one might be too tight, but you don't even know it because this one's overworking. So if you're experiencing tightness here, even if you don't know you might not have explored it. If you're experiencing tightness in your traps, oddly, doing massage through here, all through your pec major and minor, can dramatically open it up. My experience is if you do a lot of tight poi moves, this can definitely show up for you. So I would recommend even massage in here, even if you have pain that's referred down here. So I would recommend going all the way across. So not just the top part, but going down on the bottom part as well, and then coming around to the inside of it while you try somehow to hold the arm. What I would also recommend is, because if you're holding the arm, you're actually exerting effort. Put it on a surface and do this, because that's even, or like if you can rest it on yourself, but you're still exerting effort. If you put it on a surface, right? So I have a chair here. I'm using the chair, and then I'm doing the rub. Here's one that's useful. So I'm resting right now. I would recommend a flat surface, but okay, well, here we go. I'll make it a flat surface. So I'm on the back of the chair here. If you're feeling any sort of pain, you can use a ball and roll the ball, because that'll get in deeper. It'll get in specifically, and you don't have to exert as much muscle because you can use your weight. Okay, so that's a safer way to do it without creating additional injury in the other arm. Right, same thing on both sides. Then, if you're feeling it, you also want to open up the whole arm all the way down. So for me, the places that are really useful are right here, rolling and rubbing through there, and then all the way down here. Now, different modalities will suggest that going in toward the heart is better because you're creating circulation to push to flush it through, and you're sending it back to your heart, which will have it circulate and diffuse. But other modalities will suggest going away from you is better because you're energetically pushing the negative energy out of your body. So I'm not going to say what is or isn't better. I think it's personal. I have experienced benefit from both. And then this can be helpful as well on this outside. And then for the fingers, this is actually a nice piece of jasper. Don't want it falling on the floor and breaking. Okay, so the hand with the glove on is the one that's doing the massage. For this hand, for loosening up the palm and opening up the fingers, with the hand relaxed, taking the other 2 or 3 fingers like this. So I have the thumb here on the inside, and I have the index finger on the outside. And what you're doing is you're feeling through this meaty part, and you go toward the palm, and then you pinch and squeeze and relax the other hand and rotate around. So your finger and your other finger here, pinch, squeeze, and relax the hand and rotate around. And then when you find the spot that's the most tense, doing this incredibly painful thing, or can be painful at least, where you just hold it and breathe and relax. So notice what I did. Watch my shoulders. I got it. I found it. I'm noticing the tension, and then I release all the tension and I relax it. And then once again, having it on a surface is better because you have more relaxation throughout the whole arm. And going progressively inward toward the joint helps open that up. And then thumb here coming back can be really helpful as well.